This episode of Access to the Arts is being made possible through the support of First Bank Richmond, with 8 locations serving Wayne County. First Bank Richmond and you, doing great things together. Welcome to Access to the Arts. I haven't said that in quite a while. I'm Eric Marsh, Executive Director of Whitewater Community Television, and just trying to get a feel for what's going on with the arts. We are all very well aware that the COVID-19 pandemic has created a lot of problems across the country, across the world. And one of the areas that has really been hit hard are arts organizations, particularly those where the performances are indoors, arenas, things of that nature. And we've seen it. We've seen some of the musicians playing so that you can go to a drive-in and stay in your car, or at least take that 6-foot area outside of your car. But it's hard for some organizations to be able to do that when they're booking. And we're talking with John Cook with Civic Hall Performing Arts Center. John, how are you?
I'm doing well, thanks.
You are running into exactly what it is that I've been talking about. You've got a performance venue that seats 36 people. What is your top number there?
936. When we have all the seats in and we're full up. Yep, 936.
And that's upstairs, downstairs. So the idea at this moment of trying to put 936 people into an enclosed space for a performance that will last an hour and a half to 2 hours is probably something that health department officials are saying you shouldn't even be considering right now, huh?
Probably so. Yeah, that's I think where we are. We're just trying to go with what's happening within the school system and also the state of Indiana. So that's what we kind of watch on a daily basis to see what their thoughts are and how they're wanting us to proceed. So that's where we kind of are at this moment. We had discussed, and we've sent out some information about the 2 shows that we were supposed to have in the 2019 to 2020 season, which was Derek Nelson and Family and the 5 Browns. Trying to reschedule them in August. Well, that's not going to happen now. We've had to put that on hold. They still want to perform here, and they're excited to be here. But it looks like we're going to have to move them into the beginning of the year. So that'd be January, March, something like that for their performances. So as of now, they're not going to be here in August. So that's the first thing that everybody should know about that.
Your venue has, you are still planning for your 2021 series, though, right? You've got a great lineup already booked. Yeah. You're now thinking that the Derek Nelson Family and the 5 Browns are going to be part of that. So you've got a series of shows, with the first one scheduled, and we'll say scheduled at this moment, to be in October. And that's another one of your big name acts. You all bring in one every year. You all bring in great acts every year, but you always kind of have a performance that's elevated. This year, Winona.
Yeah, it's October 10th is our first show. That's Winona and the Big Noise. The Big Noise is her band. We have approached it just like any other season, where we send out the brochures to all of our current mailing list and also our former season ticket holders. And we've been selling season tickets, and they've been going at a basic normal pace. So our patrons are still purchasing the season tickets. We've had new people that have started purchasing tickets as well. Those will be on sale until September 7th. And on September 8th is when we start the sale of individual show tickets. So if you're wanting to get season tickets, you can call the box office at 765-973-3350. and leave a message, and Cindy will get back to you, and she can talk to you about what's available, and you can tell her how many tickets you'd like to get. But the season itself, it's good to go. All the performers we've contracted, and they're excited to be here. Winona, as we've said, is our first opening act of the season. That's October 10th. And then we have in November a performer by the name of Emmett Cahill, who's an amazing vocalist who's been on Broadway. He's also a former singer with Irish, I believe it's Irish Thunder. He's an Irish singer, Irish tenor. I don't want to categorize him just as an Irish tenor, because once you hear that, then you think he's just going to sing Irish-related, like "Oh Danny Boy" and things like that. But he sings Broadway musical tunes. He's an amazing singer. He'll have his instrumentalist. He's got a small combo with him and a piano accompanist who's also an amazing musician. He'll be here in November. Then in December, I'm really, really excited for everybody to see the Christmas show, which is Voctive. Voctive is an a cappella group that's probably one of the finest performing groups I've ever seen in my lifetime. And they're singing all the favorites that everybody knows, and then some, but it's all vocal. There's no instrumentalist with them, but it's a holiday show. It's called The Spirit of the Season. Then we go to February, where we're going to bring in Black Market Trust, which is it's a gypsy jazz group, which is basically a jazz group, vocal jazz, but they play instruments that are not necessarily considered traditional jazz instruments, like violin, and there's the upright bass. They have a drum set player. They have some guitar players, but they're acoustic guitars as opposed to electric guitars. They have a woodwind specialist, but they do stuff from the Great American Songbook. They do Frank Sinatra things. They are amazing. I think that people are going to love them as well. Then in March, we have Farewell Angelina, which is a four-member all-female group that does contemporary country music, but they're also instrumentalists as well as vocalists. They do violin and guitars. They also have like a rhythm section with them, but they all play and sing in four-part harmony, and I think they're amazing. And we're going to close the season in May with Gentry, the Gentleman Trio. These three guys were here a couple of years ago with us in December with the symphony, or members of the Richmond Symphony, and they did the Christmas show. Well, this season we're going to have them close the season, and they're going to do more of their cinematic pop. And they're amazing vocalists. They're all three tenors that have Broadway backgrounds, but they're bringing their combo and also their famous piano accompanist with them as well. And I think the season itself is going to be amazing. It's just the question of how we open it up, and as the state reopens, how do we look as we get closer to the first date, which is October 10th.
As you look at the questions that are there, you all have continued over the last couple of years to work on the venue inside. You've done some updates with lighting, but most recently, some of your additions have really been outside, trying to make it maybe a little bit more comfortable during an intermission for people to go out and get a little bit of air. Talk about that Sure. outside project a little bit.
We have the board members with Civic Hall, the Civic Hall Associates, have created a project that they call the Legacy Project. And we're trying to bring things to Civic Hall that would enhance it on the exterior, as Eric has just talked about. And what we've just done is we've been able to purchase benches that are out on the patio area that have been donated by, let's say, people, so I could tell you who they are. One bench was donated by Randy Ecker and his choir. Randy Ecker is the choir director here at Richmond High School, and he just retired, but his chamber choir students had raised money, and they purchased this bench in his honor, and there's a plaque on it, and it recognizes them as the class of 2019, 2020. and Randy Ecker's name is on there. So one of the benches is in his honor. Another bench was sponsored by one of our actual board members of Civic Hall Associates, Tim Scales, who's also a professor out at IU East. He did a bench in honor of the seniors of Richmond High School. Tim Scales also graduated from Richmond High School, so he has a kind of a spot in his heart for the Richmond students here. He wanted them to be recognized because of the situation that we've had here with the COVID and not being able to finish the school year. He wanted to be able to recognize them. So he's sponsored one of the benches, and it's there's a plaque in his name and in their honor for 2020 graduates. And then he also sponsored another bench in honor of the Indiana University East senior class, and that's on our patio as well. So yeah, it's pretty neat. The benches are actually very comfortable, but they also then are like a memorial or in recognition of those groups. So it's a pretty neat thing.
Cool.
I'm really excited.
I know that you've got a lot of things you're going through. I know things are changing for you on a daily basis. We will do our best kind of to get back to you, keep the community up to date with what's going on as things change, and hopefully you're able to get your first show in, because I know that would really be great for people in the community to be able to be able to access the arts and Civic Hall Performing Arts Center. It's a great venue, and it's great to have it here in the community.
Yeah. One thing, if they can also go to our website, www.civichall.com, and trying to keep that updated as well as far as what's happening with the Derek Nelson and family and the 5 Browns. It looks like we're getting close to a new date for both of them. It could be happening today, possibly, but hopefully within the next week. I'll have those dates, and then I'll post those on our website as well.
Okay, we'll keep a check on your website to make sure that people are able to stay up on Derek Nelson and family and the 5 Browns and all of the other shows that you have during this upcoming season. And we will check back in with you again soon. Thanks for talking to us. John Cook, Civic Hall Performing Arts Center.
Thanks for having me.
It's the Civic Hall Performing Arts Center proudly presenting series Winona Judd and the Big Noise, Saturday, October 10th. Emmett Cahill, Saturday, November 7th. Voctive presenting the Spirit of the Season, Saturday, December 19th. Black Market Trust, Saturday, February 20th, 2021. Farewell Angelina, Saturday, March 13th, 2021. And Gentry, the Gentleman Trio, Saturday, May 8th, 2021. Tickets at civichall.com. The Civic Hall Performing Arts Center proudly presenting series.
Welcome back to Access to the Arts, a program we have not been able to do for a number of months because the arts organizations really got hit hard when COVID-19 came in, but some are beginning to get their footing and making plans. And one of those, Richmond Civic Theater. And I'm talking with Kathy Clopper, who is president of the board for Richmond Civic Theater. Kathy, how are you today?
I'm doing well, Eric. How about yourself?
So far, so good.
Good.
You all lost the end of the season. I think you normally do a summer production fundraiser. That kind of went by the wayside. Talk a little bit about what COVID has done to Civic Theater in particular, and kind of let's begin the conversation of how you all are coming back and really bringing people inside the theater again.
So we lost our last 2 shows of the main stage season, and we lost a summer fundraiser. That means we lost income. People have been very generous about not requesting refunds on tickets that they had already purchased, and we're grateful for that. Sponsors have been very generous in not asking for refunds on their sponsor dollars for shows for the last, basically a third of the season. So it is a challenge. We're doing okay right now, but like all arts groups, looking ahead, it's a little bit scary. We're doing our best to find grants and funding sources that will help us out. We were very fortunate to get one of the payroll protection plan loans to cover some salary costs. We've not had to lay anyone off. because of that. We're just launching our membership campaign and launching our requests or appeal for donations from supporters. So we're hoping that all of that will help us get through the hump. One of the real big hits that we've taken is not being able to do musicals. It's felt that when a person is singing, that they shed more virus than they do while they are speaking. And many, many arts groups in Indiana and across the country and on Broadway have decided to not do musicals. And musicals are a big fundraiser, so that's going to kind of hurt us. We also had a musical that had already auditioned and been cast, was in rehearsals, which is Newsies. And we've kind of kept that on hold. We're hoping to be able to do that in the spring. But for right now, we're not going to do any musicals. So we're doing smaller cast shows. Part of that is because of our dressing room space. To be able to keep people socially distanced in the dressing rooms, we have to have fewer people involved in the shows. And trying to find shows and encourage people to do shows with less elaborate sets and go easy on the costume budget and just go easy on all of those things. But we're really going to be relying on our supporters to help carry us through this. We are only planning on the first half of our season. We're calling it the fall season rather than trying to plan the whole year. And we're just taking it slow. We try to design our protocol plan to be flexible, and in another month, we may have to relook at things and make some other decisions.
Talk about what that process was like just a little bit, because you all planned this at least a year, maybe even a year and ahead, I would think, in advance to be able to get the rights to do some of these productions. How did that change what you're able to present? Because you probably, by the time COVID hit, you probably had most of your productions lined out for the coming year. I'm not sure what you have planned is exactly what was on the bill, is it?
No, it's definitely not. The royalty houses were very cooperative in helping us with that. They agreed to allow us to postpone show dates. And then if we were not able to do the shows, they've been very good about giving us refunds. So we had paid for all of our royalties. We had everything covered. And we have requested refunds for all of those except for Newsies. We really want to do Newsies. So we're really trying hard. So we have kept the rights for that, but Music Theater International has agreed to let us kind of postpone the dates for when we're doing that. So we have gotten the rights for Tuesdays with Maury. That will be our first main stage show. It's a two-person show, two men. A college graduate reacquaints himself with a professor, and they talk about life and where life has taken them, kind of an introspective situation. The college professor has ALS, so he's facing the end of his life, and it's just a very poignant, sweet kind of a show. So we were able to get the rights for that. And that's scheduled for September 11th through 13th, and then 18th through the 20th, correct? That's correct. We're going to put we have Radio Works, which people should know that we do radio performances, and we're going to do a live performance of one of our Radio Works shows. It's called Twisted Tales of Poe, and that takes place, we're going to do that Halloween weekend. And it takes 4 of Poe's stories and kind of intertwines them in a fun show. We're thinking about having a face mask contest, asking people to decorate their face mask with a Edgar Allan Poe theme of some sort or another. So that should really be fun. Nice. And then we're doing, in December, we're doing It's a Wonderful Life. It's a radio show. It's not a radio show like Twisted Tales of Poe. It's a play that was written like it is taking place in the studio, and you see the actors interacting off of the mic as well as when they're on the mic. It just happened to work out that way. We didn't really go into it thinking, oh, we want to do all these radio shows. Stage 1 in October is doing Clue, the stage play. It's probably been the hardest on stage 1 because they were going to do Lion King Jr. and Frozen Jr. this year because it's their 20th season. And they
big casts.
Yeah, big cast, big shows. And they had to scrap all that. And it's hard to find shows for kids with a small cast. But we think they're going to be able to pull that off okay with Clue. And then September 26th, we're doing an evening of Broadway. We're hoping to use an outside venue for that. We haven't got that all secured yet. This is actually a show that we had started developing for our New Year's Eve, which we're not going to be able to do. So we think that'll be a nice outdoor activity for families to come and sit on a blanket or sit outside and enjoy that.
Talked about having to downsize the cast and crew. You're also having to downsize your audience, which has got to be incredibly difficult. You've already taken a financial hit with some of this. Talk a little bit about, for those patrons interested, maybe even a little bit concerned, you all have obviously put some thought into how people can enjoy these performances. Talk a little bit about that.
Okay. One of the things we're doing is adding performances. We usually only do, stage 1 shows, we usually only do one weekend. We're doing 2 weekends, so we're adding shows. And we're adding shows to our other plays as well. We're also exploring live streaming. We don't know if we can do it yet or not. It takes a lot of equipment and technical know-how. And we don't want to do that poorly with just somebody's cell phone pointed at the stage. We want to make sure that we do a quality presentation of volunteers with experience that can that know what they're talking about, and when they read the X number of these kinds of cameras, they actually know what that means. I don't. So we're hoping that we're going to be able to do that, and that will also not only because our seating is limited, but we know that some people are just not ready to go out in public yet, and so this will be an opportunity for them to still be able to enjoy the shows. We do have to charge tickets. Live streaming licenses require that you do charge an admission. And one of the things that we looked at when we were choosing our season is everything that we got rights for also comes with live streaming rights. So we've got that part covered. It's just figuring out the technical aspect of everything.
Okay. Talk about the normal capacity of the theater and what the capacity of the theater approximately will be if you were to have a sellout for one of your shows.
Okay. So the theater normal capacity is like 550 people, 550 seats. Mm-hmm. We think we're going to be able to get about 220 seats. Our office manager went in and blocked off seating to figure out how we could do that. That will be done by seating people on the ends of the rows and skipping a row, seating people in the middle of a row, skipping a row, and all the way back, and even up in the balcony, so that people will be 6 feet apart and they can feel safe. We're not going to do intermissions, and we're not going to have any concessions available. We want our lobby is small and crowded, can get crowded, so we're going to try and eliminate that kind of crowding as people are coming in and they're leaving. So we hope that works. We just hope people will, really jump in and support us, come and see the shows, and support us in other ways as well.
I know there was a mask ordinance in place through the end of August. We're talking about your first Tuesdays at Morey starting in September. If the mask ordinance is lifted, are you still going to be asking patrons to wear masks when they come in, or how will you handle that? We will. That's part of our COVID-19 guidance, is to require people to wear masks in the building. And it's just because it's a crowd. It's a lot of people together. And we feel that that is the safest way to approach this for our patrons and our volunteers. Kathy, I know there's a lot of questions that people will have. Let's just start by saying, one, we're glad to get some theater and get some of the arts organizations back up. I know there's trying. I know everybody's working to be able to pull this off. We wish you all the very best. Let us know if there's anything we can do, and obviously we'll use this space as much as we can to help you publicize whatever events that you have coming up. Best of luck as you get into this 2021 season.
Thank you, Eric. We appreciate that very much.
Thanks for spending some time with us.
Yes, thanks for having us.
This episode of Access to the Arts is being made possible through the support of First Bank Richmond, with 8 locations serving Wayne County. First Bank Richmond and you, doing great things together.